Hello everyone, my name is Ian and you're watching Big Rock Moto, your home for the most detailed motorcycle content on the net. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing if you appreciate these kinds of reviews. Now, continuing my theme of reviewing all the riding gear that I've been using over the past couple of years, today I'm going to bring you a review of the REV'IT Offtrack adventure motorcycle riding suit. Now, a couple disclaimers before I go any further. One, I'm not sponsored by REV'IT. REV'IT does now give me a discount on items if I want to purchase them because I work in the motorcycle industry, but I'm not sponsored by them. And if you've watched my other videos, I use all sorts of riding gear, especially I tend to favor a lot of the climb riding gear. So let's delve into a review of the REV'IT Offtrack. One more thing really fast, if you're shopping for riding gear, parts and accessories for your bikes, please consider using all my affiliate links in the description of these videos or in the comments, because it's a way to support this channel for content creation on this channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much in advance. So why did I pick up the REV'IT Offtrack riding suit? So a lot of times you'll see me wearing either a Gore-Tex suit in the winter, or in the warmer months you'll see me wearing a vented mesh suit like my Climb Baja S4 suit, which I really love. The REV'IT Offtrack falls somewhere in between those two options. So it's a non-Gore-Tex suit that's partially ventilated, and we'll talk about the ventilation and those trade-offs here in a minute. So I really bought it for those in-between rides when a full Gore-Tex suit is a little bit too hot and stuffy, a little bit overkill, but a fully mesh suit might be a little bit too much ventilation, a little bit too cold. Plus, I really wanted to check out some of the newest gear from REV'IT because I know a lot of you are using REV'IT gear or considering using their gear, and you'd like to hear these types of reviews. And frankly, I'm kind of obsessed with riding gear. I have a lot of riding gear, even way more than you see here on this rack. And I just, I kind of have a problem acquiring riding gear. If it looks good, I tend to buy it and then hopefully eventually review it here on the channel. Now, before I get into the construction and features and how the suit works, a note on the sizing. So it's very important that you pay attention to the sizing of REV'IT. REV'IT uses more of a European sizing guideline. So you're gonna have to use the size charts on their website, which are very good. They show you where and how to measure. Do not, and I repeat, do not translate your riding gear size from a company like Climb or other American brands into the REV'IT size. It will be way off. To give you an example of that, I'm between a medium and a large in my Climb riding gear and other riding gear, but in a REV'IT gear, this jacket to fit me is an extra large. And I don't wear an XL t-shirt, I don't wear anything XL, but when it comes to REV'IT gear, I guess that's us Americans just eat a little bit too many cheeseburgers. I don't know what it is, but that's how the sizing is. So pay close attention to that sizing. All right, welcome to the REV'IT Offtrack suit. Let's talk about fit and sizing here first off. So following REV'IT's size chart, which you definitely need to use, I'm in a size XL jacket and I'm in a size XL pant, which is what their size chart recommends for me. Now, my specs, so to speak, I am 5'10", about 70 inches tall, about 180 centimeters. I have a 32-inch leg inseam, and what else? My weight is about between 190 to 200 pounds, depending on how my diet's going, or about 85 to 90 kilograms, right in that range. So the overall fit of this suit, I would say it's more of a slim, more of a contoured fit than if you're used to wearing something like the Climb gear. I do kind of like how this fits, to be honest. I really feel that it's a more tailored fit than a lot of the other gear that I have, especially in the pants. But you're definitely gonna have to pay attention to that sizing chart. Now let's talk about the ventilation and storage. So the ventilation on the pants, it's just these small zippers here, which they could be a lot more effective. They're not really all that effective. Pockets here are good, nice deep pockets on the pants there. On the jacket, so the jacket uses these big front vents here, which you have to unsnap. You have to fold down in here, and then there's a holdback snap kind of inside here, which you kind of have to fiddle with. This is not something you really should be doing when you're riding. There, I got that one, so you can see how that works. The arms have a zipper, but again, you have to go under this adjustment feature, so it takes a little bit of doing to kind of get that arm vent open. So again, probably not do that while you're riding. So you can see here how the vents work, and the vents are fairly effective, not as effective as full mesh gear, however. Now there's also the ventilation here. So you do feel air kind of coming through this top part of the jacket, as you can see here on the front and back, which helps. Overall, I find the jacket to vent better than the pants. It seems a little bit mismatched in my opinion. Now storage on the jacket, you do have the front pockets here, which are not waterproof. I don't think you have any waterproof pockets on this because it's not a waterproof shell, obviously. So you'd have to put those sensitive documents in a Ziploc bag or put them inside, if you're wearing the waterproof liner, put them inside the pockets of that liner. Now, one thing I really love about REV'IT that I really wish Climb would do is they have these adjustment features here in the torso. So you can bring the torso in or out to fit that center part of your body, depending on how big your belly is, how many beers you drank that week. I really like that, and I wish all manufacturers would do that. You also have a nice adjustment feature here, as I kind of already talked about, even with this little pull tab here to make things easier. Now let's jump on the bike and show you how it is when you're actually on the motorcycle. So again, compared to the Climb riding gear that I normally use, I can feel that, things are a bit more of a tailored fit here. I can kind of feel the material more against my skin. So it just depends on if you kind of like that look or if you like that kind of fit. But overall, it's very comfortable, feels good sitting down, no issues there. And when you're standing up on the pegs, off-road, or you're just trying to look cool in the Starbucks parking lot, either way, no judgment, then yeah, everything feels good. It feels like they definitely did their homework and engineered the cut of the garment definitely for adventure riding. Now let's take a look at some of the construction, impact, abrasion resistance, and venting of this suit. So first of all, let's just cover the venting fast. So the suit is partially ventilated. What I mean is that it's got the mesh here on this front part and also extending in here to the back, but you don't see mesh anywhere else on the suit. Now, it does have these large vents kind of on the torso, on the chest, and these open up here and they have a holdback position that snaps in under here, exposing this mesh under here. And these do work pretty well. You can definitely notice the ventilation coming in from this area. And there's also large vents on the arms. You kind of have to work it under this adjustment feature. And then the ventilation works pretty good through your arms. So it's well ventilated, but it is not as well ventilated as a full mesh riding suit. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. So that's how the ventilation works. Now, ventilation on the pants, you just have a vent here kind of in the hips, but it's only about 6-7 inches long, maybe 8 inches long. And frankly, it doesn't work very well. That's one of my issues with the pants. They don't ventilate very well. Now let's talk about abrasion resistance. So this is not a super high-end suit. It's not cheap, but it's not super high-end. So what you're seeing is Cordura. You're not seeing anything like super fabric, like on some of the higher-end gear from REV'IT or from Climb. So you're seeing heavier Cordura in the areas that are more abrasion resistant, and you're seeing lighter Cordura in the other areas. The abrasion resistance, I think, is pretty decent on this suit. Now let's talk about impact protection. So REV'IT has an interesting approach to that. REV'IT a lot of times does not include the back protector with their jackets as a way to maybe lower the initial cost, but just know that you're going to need to add a back protector if you want full protection. So I added their proprietary CSOF CE Level 2 back protector. The jacket comes with CE Level 2 in the shoulders and the elbows, and it also has a provision for chest armor. So you can put, and I have in this jacket, or I used to have, a chest armor which goes into pockets in there. I really like having the provision for chest armor because I like to use that for off-road riding. The pants are CE Level 2 in the hips and the knees. So I appreciate that at this price point they're giving you CE Level 2. I think that's a great thing to have, and I applaud REV'IT for doing that. So impact protection is pretty decent. So let's talk a little bit about waterproofing and also the thermal layers. So the way that REV'IT works is, I think this is the jacket liner. So the way that they like to approach things is you have a non-waterproof and partially ventilated outer shell on a garment like this. And then they give you this and I'll show you how this works in a second here on the bike. It's one part thermal layer, which you can zip out, and then a waterproof, I forget what they call it, but it's a waterproof layer here. So you wear this underneath the jacket. Now, the upside of that is that you have a jacket that ventilates better and provides more airflow, arguably, than maybe a waterproof outer shell. for warmer weather, and then when it's waterproof, you can put the layer in. The downside to that is that your jacket is soaking wet if it's raining. So even though your torso, even though you might not have water physically on your torso, because of this inner layer, the whole jacket is going to be soaking wet, which can contribute to sort of feeling a little bit colder and more damp than you would with a full Gore-Tex riding suit. So that's the pros and cons that you have. I'll be honest with you, I tend not to use the layers that REV'IT includes. I like to use, over a suit like this, for a brief shower or something, I'll typically use a waterproof rain suit that goes outside, a two-piece rain suit. I actually have a REV'IT rain suit that goes outside the garment, so I don't have to strip the garments off and do all the layers, especially the pants, because taking off your riding pants on the side of the road, trying to put layers in, I was over that years ago. I'm not going to do that. So that's the way I tend to approach it. All right, so wrapping up my review of the REV'IT Offtrack suit. It's a high quality, good looking, protective, well-engineered riding suit. It's really very, very good for what it is. I like how it fits. I like the overall construction. I like the different color options that they have, especially these high-vis pops of high-vis. I really am a fan of high-vis. And it fits my body type pretty well as long as you pay attention to what I said about the sizing. What's my overall verdict, however, is that I'm a little bit lukewarm about it, just to be honest, because I feel that if it's a colder ride where there might be some rain or it's just a bit colder, I really would probably rather be in a Gore-Tex riding suit so I don't have to deal with putting layers on and off for waterproofing. And if it's really going to be a ride that tends to those warmer temperatures, then I find that a fully mesh gear suit like the Klein Baja S4 that I reviewed provides much better ventilation than this, especially in the pants in hot weather, and I can layer that accordingly. So this does fall somewhere in between, which can be an advantage if you ride in temperatures that either vary a lot on the same ride or tend to fall somewhere between those two extremes of very hot or very cold. This could be a very, very good solution for you. And I know most people are not like me. They don't have a garage full of amazing riding gear. I'm lucky, I'm spoiled, I admit that. I have all the cool stuff. If you don't, then this could be a great one riding suit that fits all of your riding, as is their Sand 4, which is also a very popular option, a little bit upgraded from this, a little bit different scheme with how the vents work and some of the construction and things like that. So anyway, I hope this has been useful. A reminder to use my links when you're shopping. Questions, comments, put those below and I'll follow up with you. Other than that, thanks for watching, ride safe, and I'll see you out there.